Hey guys, if you're listening to this week's episode, it's a little bit out of order because we released the Linnea Quigley episode beforehand, so you might hear us reference that. If you haven't checked out that episode, make sure you go check it out. We interviewed her. It's a pretty awesome interview, and it was cool for us, so I don't know, maybe you'll like it. Try it out.
Yeah, let's do that one again.
No, that was good.
Your Hollywood system stole our sex and co-opted our violence, so there's nothing left for our kinds of movies.
I did not hit her. It's not true.
Klopex?
Klopex. Klopex.
Up yours, baby.
Me and Bubba, my little brother, listen to you every night.
Where in the hell are we?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Cult Film Review. This week we are doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. We're going to talk about it. It's got Bill Moseley in it. It was directed by Toby Hooper. It's got a $4.7 million budget, and sets are crazy. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Leatherface and plenty more. Make sure you follow us on our Twitter at cultfilm_review. You follow us on Facebook, and you know what? Let's just start the show. Hey guys, welcome to Cult Film in Review. I am Cody Everett, your host. This week we are talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. You can follow us on Twitter at cultfilm_review. You can also follow us all individually other places. You can follow me on Instagram at official Cody Everett. You can also follow Mike probably somewhere. You can probably follow Chris somewhere.
Yeah,
you
it doesn't matter.
Follow Kyle somewhere, but who cares? No, I'm just kidding, guys.
But follow us, really. We really want you to follow us.
for real.
We like likes.
Yeah, we like likes.
Please make sure that
I like that joke, like, a lot. Like, cool.
Jesus Christ.
Love you.
Please make sure you guys follow us on, all of our stuff, our Instagrams, Twitters, all that stuff. And then please make sure that you rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Is that a question?
Or whatever format.
Do you rate
Yeah.
stars on iTunes? I don't even.
Yeah, of course you do.
I feel like when I stare
Subscribe.
at an iTunes window, like my brain gets hypnotized.
Thanks, Chris. You're really helping the show.
I'm just telling you how I feel
Yeah,
about
this is banter. What do
it. Yeah,
you?
we're allowed to discuss.
Why-
we're
why-
allowed to discuss what
Why
iTunes
are you,
does
why are you
to your
hating
brains.
on this so much?
Yeah. Why do you hate iTunes like me?
I love iTunes.
See, I just convinced me actually hated it.
Yeah.
Oh, how's everybody's week this week?
How's everyone's week this week?
Yeah,
Great.
How's everybody's week?
Pretty good.
It's great.
That's all.
Mike, where can-
That's all she wrote.
I don't know.
Did
Mike-
anybody do anything cool?
No, not a single thing.
No,
The,
no,
dog,
no,
the
no,
dog
no,
apparently
shit.
chimed in. So
Yeah.
Mike, where can people find you at?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at Friendly Neighborhood Filmmaking. No,
Okay.
they can't. No, they can't.
They can't find you there. No, they can't.
no, did you close that?
No.
What happened? Did you lose it? Somebody
No,
buy
I'm
it
just
off
joking.
you?
It's
sold
at
it.
Mike Salustio.
Sold it.
But you
Yeah.
can find me at friendlyneighborhoodfilmmaking.com, though.
That's
Okay.
his
Find me there.
okay.
Friendly filmmaking.
You can
Yeah.
find him there.
I mixed the two.
Yeah.
I merged
Yeah.
them. That's what
having
I
a-
probably should have made my Twitter is at Friendly Neighborhood.
We're having a good time tonight. That's
I'm
all
not
it
a
is.
fucking person. I'm not a
You
person.
know?
I'm not an entity.
No, you're not.
I'm not a personality.
You're just.
I'm just what I do.
You're just
I'm not who I am.
You're just regurgitated words.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
all
it.
I do.
Yeah.
That's what we're made of?
Chris, what's going
That's
on?
what Mike's made of.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Chris, what's going on with you?
I don't
not
like. I
much.
don't like
I'm-
how he's sitting right now. just so-
I'm spread eagle, and it's been a long day, so there's a darker brown spot down in that area, Kyle, if you look closely.
Why did you even point it out?
That's
you
from
fucking
farting all
asshole?
day.
That's from farting all day.
That's from farting all day. What
That's
I do?
ridiculous.
Okay, so I'm working a convention coming up this weekend, Mad Monster.
Which will be well past when everybody hears this.
It doesn't matter. I'm still talking about what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going, and we're going to be interviewing, actually, I believe her name is Linnea Quigley. I've heard it said many ways, so I'm
Linnea?
still trying to figure it out. We will find out on the
Linnea?
podcast. I'm going to
Lene.
ask her. I don't
It's
care.
Lene.
I'm not
no,
embarrassed.
it's Lene. It's Lene Quigley.
Lene. Do you pronounce the a?
How do you know that?
It's Lene Quigley.
like you know. her.
I watched several YouTube
Fucking
videos where
eye
they,
is silent.
Well, we get to interview her. She's a cult B movie actress icon. She was in Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Demons. She's been in what is it? Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama. There's just like so many things that this woman has done, and our company has taken on a film that she's produced. So we're gonna interview her and talk to her and get to know about her life and everything.
That's going to be really fun.
Who did she play in Return of the Living Dead? I don't know.
I believe she played the punk rock girl that dances naked on the grave.
Holy shit.
Everybody's
and
favorite
she was
part.
pretty hot.
Hell yeah.
Like, I mean, when was that movie made? 1983 or something?
I think it's closer to like 86, 87.
Okay, we'll look that
I
up.
don't
But
know.
anyways, and she's actually known for doing nudity. Like, she's completely comfortable doing nudity. It's obvious she does it in every film. But they're always like memorable scenes. That's the great thing about it is like, people remember it in such a positive light. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go jack off to this. It's like, that was a classic scene. Like, where else have you seen a punk rock chick dancing naked in a cemetery
And then
on a
get
grave?
pulled into the mud from a zombie beneath her.
That's a Tuesday for me.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
That's a
So
Tuesday.
she's cool. She's cool. She's done a lot of shit, and I'm really excited to talk to her at Mad Monster this weekend. And we're gonna be slanging DVDs for midnight
Slanging 'em.
releasing.
Slanging.
Brain Damage Film's gonna be out there. Also, I think some of the guys, right? Are you guys gonna be walking around talking to people?
I will
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, Kyle, what's up with you?
Oh shit! I didn't even know you were gonna go to me next. I
You're
don't
the
know.
last person.
This week has been a blur, dude. I've been working so much and getting ready to go on vacation. So I leave Tuesday.
Leave
actually.
Tuesday for where are you going?
Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica, man, how you doing?
Damn.
That's a terrible. That was the
that was like an
worst
Irish guy
Jamaican impression.
I don't think I'll
ever.
that can't speak.
That was terrible. I
Yeah.
apologize for that.
I kind of don't want to go to Jamaica now.
I gotta
You
admit-
ruined it
Yeah.
for me.
And that's what Jamaica's like, Kyle.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
the whole
It's just
goddamn country.
Irish
That's
people
exactly what
making
Cody
a terrible
said.
fucking accent.
How did Jamaica make it to the top of the list for vacations?
did
It
it not?
actually was out of our hands. We're going there. Nicole's best friend is getting married, and she wants to get married in Jamaica. So hey,
How does that make it?
Perfect.
How do you get married in Jamaica legal in the States? Is that
I think the ceremony's there. You still sign your papers.
here?
Yeah.
But you just have the ceremony there.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
that. That's all a wedding is. Just
Just
yeah,
a
that's
bunch
true.
of smoke and
a
mirrors.
bunch of people. Yeah,
I'm just
fuck
kidding.
Yeah. Like,
Just a bunch of lies.
you could have like the biggest like balls out fucking wedding ever, but like at the end of the day, you're still not technically married. You just you're married in the eyes of God, I guess, if that's your thing.
All right. Well, you know what? No one wants to hear us talk about weddings. So
Yeah,
I
let's-
don't know. I was
You
having a
asked.
pretty good
Yeah.
time talking
Yeah.
about weddings.
You
Let's-
asked, and I
That's why
answered
you're going
you.
to Jamaica.
My
Love
mistake.
it.
Yeah, and we're
My
going to
mistake.
an
Because of love.
all inclusive resort, so free booze, free food, and fucking fun.
What
it up.
what else can you do in Jamaica? What are some other things you can do there?
We are going to do snorkeling one day. That's for sure.
Too dangerous. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, well,
I agree. I don't like the
Sharks.
sharks. And then we're also probably
says that, dude?
we're trying to set up a tour of one of the rum distilleries because obviously Jamaica is well known for its rum production.
You know, you
So-
should also check out their famous bobsledding team.
I love the silence that followed that.
Tick,
It
tick,
took a while.
tick.
to
Cool
remember my
Runnings.
Cool Runnings
Yeah.
reference.
starring John
Maybe I'll
Candy.
run into John Candy when I'm down there.
Shut up.
Wow,
Wow,
I
how
don't
crazy
know.
would that be?
Zombie John Candy.
Well, this is
Zombie.
Jamaica.
No, dude.
right?
You ever heard the John Candy Tupac theory?
What, that they're the same
they're
person?
Chilling out.
Yeah, dude.
Hanging
Hanging
out together.
Hanging out in Jamaica.
Yeah,
Think they would?
Yeah.
It could be.
All right, guys, let's talk about the movie we're here to talk about. Let's talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Okay.
Let's start it off with they had a $4.7 million budget, right? And they had better sets than Cecil B. Demented, which we reviewed earlier, and we talked about the sets. People go back and listen to that episode if you want to know about
What
that.
was the budget on Cecil? I forgot.
It was 10.
10.
10.
Wow.
And you look at the sets in that's kind of the first thing I want to talk about.
Hold on. In defense,
Yeah.
how many sets were there? Like 3? It was the radio station,
Yeah.
some outdoor shots, and then whatever the hell that carnival thing they went to was.
It was like an old amusement park or
Yeah.
some shit.
That
I feel
place-
like that if all their money went into
the
one
Alamo,
set,
wasn't it?
had to
No,
be.
it wasn't actually. I thought it was, but it's just some amusement park
Yeah, it's
called
amusement.
Battleland.
Battleland. Okay, cool. I was always confused by that, actually.
Battleland.
Why they were there?
No. Whether it was the Alamo or it was like just an amusement or an attraction.
This looks like an old,
That'd be funny.
really fucking old.
The
amusement
Alamo
park.
has just
Battleland
dead bodies buried underneath
Right?
it in fucking weird, like,
no
comic ways.
No one has noticed the
Yeah.
smell.
Notice the people have been making chili under there? Like, yeah, right?
No one really goes to Battleland though, dude.
Well,
You know, Six
Well,
Flags
it
moved
is
in,
closed.
and they closed down.
God.
That's what happened. No, but I actually really enjoyed the sets of Battleland actually a lot. I thought
Yeah.
those were it was visually like I was like looking at everything, trying to catch things, and it was all over.
They had really wide, huge, like sweeping shots, movements, so that would go really wide, so you could see how massive the sets actually were.
Wow, I disagree with all of you guys.
Oh,
I
man.
fucking hated
Well,
that
I didn't say
scene.
anything, so.
Okay, Mike, you're cool.
Okay.
I did not like that set, and I don't like you saying there's wide sweeping shots, but it felt so claustrophobic, and it felt like so underlit. Like I couldn't actually take in what I was seeing. It was confusing. The orange tone of it was just disgusting.
There's
and
just tunnels
annoying
everywhere.
me. Yeah, I just
Fantastic.
fucking hated that scene. I hated it. I hated
Really?
it.
So
I
you
felt like
hated
there
the
was
whole end of the movie, is what you're telling me.
The whole yeah, it was the whole second half.
Well, Kyle, I'm going to disagree with you
Mm.
and agree with these two gentlemen. I actually really did think that the set was pretty good. I thought it had a lot of character to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought like it was almost like a separate character
pretty
than everything
extravagant.
everybody else.
You want to know
what
how
I
I describe this movie? Because I was reading descriptions online of like it's a comedy, it's a horror, dark comedy horror movie,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And I almost feel like what I felt it like it was I was literally I was like watching a video of a haunted house, like you would go to for in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like a haunted house ride.
I really felt like that in that scene where they come into the attraction and there's that big arm sticking up with the knife in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like that's when it really I was like, this looks like a scene out of Ghoulies or something.
I
you
will
know,
say
like-
in that retraction, I did like the hallway where they had arranged all the bodies into like weird like scenarios. There's like the couple on the beach with the umbrella. And the
Yeah.
Oh, my
bartender
favorite one
and
was the
shit.
guy that was riding a missile,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, it was like Dr. Strangelove. He was just
Yeah.
like rodeoing this missile down into nowhere.
All right, so let's get into this a little bit. Let's describe the movie for our listeners if they haven't seen it. So what it is it's 13 years later after the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they're just going around cooking chili, people chili,
Yep.
People chilling.
and they get caught murdering some guys who are really annoying.
Yeah.
And then they go to a radio station where they got caught to capture the girl or to kill her.
Kill her. Yeah.
Who caught them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the plot of the movie.
caught them on the radio.
Oh, and there's also a cop who is Dennis Hopper who is trying to catch Leatherface for the last 13 years.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why is that, everybody?
Because of his brother's kids were killed.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
His
Yeah.
brother's kids were the guy in the wheelchair in the first one, and the girl.
And the girl who survived, right?
who survived. Yeah, but
Yeah.
she was like,
So she must have told him the story.
She went. What do they say? Catatonic or something?
yeah,
like
she was
that?
like,
Oh, is that what they
catatonic.
said?
Yep.
I was trying to figure that the whole time. I was just like, why isn't she in
Is
that?
that the right word?
Yeah,
Catatonic.
Okay,
That's
all
what
right.
it
I didn't
said.
know if
Catatonic.
I thought that's what it was.
So the movie starts off with basically two assholes,
Big assholes.
right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Going to the big football game.
Mhm.
And
Drunk as fuck, speeding down the highway.
they're coked up. They mentioned
Oh.
that later in the movie
Yeah.
that they're coked up,
Oh shit. Yeah.
and they're driving down the highway, calling into a radio station where they do request, and harassing the DJ. Here's my question: how come she can't hang up?
Oh my god, that's what I was just about to ask you. Like,
How come she can't hang
That
up?
was definitely a discussion with me and Desiree.
I don't
when we
get
were
it. Like,
watching
how do you just like pull the line like bloop? You know, there you go.
I can't hang up, darling. I'm trash.
They gotta
Put
hang
the
up.
receiver down. It don't work.
Nothing
We
I
ain't
can
using
do.
a receiver. I don't know how
man.
to shut this phone off,
I
darling.
love that guy, by the way.
Who,
LG?
LG.
LG.
LG, which one was that
I
guy?
actually really liked.
He's the radio host
He's
assistant.
he's like the
Yeah.
technical
Oh,
guy. at
he's the guy I
radio.
called Dwight Yoakam.
Yep, he looks kind
He
of
looked
like Dwight.
just like Dwight Yoakam.
I actually really enjoy Stretch. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will say, like, dude, she got hired on her screaming abilities because
That's all she did in this film.
She got
and
a
it's
booty.
an insane. It's an insane scream. Like if you hear it, it's just like, oh my god, this is terrifying.
I found her as annoying as who is it in Casino who plays Robert De Niro's wife? Is it, that's not,
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone.
Sharon
she
Stone.
was just as annoing as Sharon
Michelle
Stone in
Pfeiffer.
Casino.
She played Catwoman in fucking Casino.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen the director's cut.
Casino Returns.
'cause
Nobody
in-
seen that
in-
one?
dude.
By Tim Burton. No one saw that.
No one saw that where she's breaking in.
Oh,
New
yeah.
Catwoman movie. It's the new Catwoman. No one
Yeah.
seen that? No. Oh, I got
In
an advance
Casino,
copy.
Sharon Stone is just yelling the whole movie. That's all she does. She just screams and it's just like frantic and like fucking annoying. And I found Stretch to be the same way. I just couldn't stand it. Every time she screamed, it sent chills up my spine.
See,
just
I want to say
didn't wanna
I
fucking
love
hear
this
it.
one thing about Stretch is that not only did she scream, but she was like how do I describe it?
She's a badass
She was
sweetheart.
like strategy in her mind the whole
Yeah,
time.
I will give
Like
her
she
that.
had an idea. She saw that like Leatherface was like, oh yeah, I think this guy's into me, and she played into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like utilized that. Like I don't even really know what that line was. Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you
Oh
good?
my
I'm like, I don't
God.
understand why she went with that tactic, but goddamn, didn't it work?
Yeah.
Did it not
Yeah.
work?
All right, so here's the
Are
thing.
you good?
Let's go back to this. What makes Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 a cult film?
I don't know.
Man,
Because I kind of agree with Kyle
I don't think it's a
on this
cult
one.
film.
I think what makes it a cult film is I think it's that it's so bad it's good.
Yes.
Do people think that?
But it's such a departure from the first
exactly.
Well, that's what I
like
think.
he
that-
went a completely different
You know
direction.
what? And that kind of like, when Chris suggested this movie, I was excited because this is a movie that it's actually the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre film that I own, and it was one that I always liked. After watching it again, I was like, this movie is terrible. It's not good. And and actually watching it again, it like pisses me off that Toby Hooper took such a terrifying enemy as Leatherface and made him into this bumbling fucking doofus. Like it just wasn't scary.
no,
or
he was not scary.
there was nothing
No.
scary about it, and it just sucked. Because like seriously, watching the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like that film gave me nightmares. This movie did not give. It made me annoyed.
it made me go like this.
Bored.
It made me go, man, that Leatherface can dance.
It's so stupid.
Okay,
He
yeah,
has a shimmer. He has that shimmer. Bro, he has the shimmer.
yeah. Does
If he didn't have a chainsaw in his hands, I would imagine there'd be jazz hands.
I
jazz
don't know
plays.
why, but I kept thinking he was a ballerina while I watched this movie.
like that was his backstory?
like there was he was
used
like
to be a
always
prima
doing these
ballerina.
like pirouettes and like
I don't get how
tiptoes
do you
and shit.
go how do you go from the first film where he's just this benevolent fucking demon of a human being to a fucking gag. I don't get it.
Okay, here's a question I have for
Did
everybody.
everybody watch the first movie and be like, oh, it was scary, but it'd be better if Leatherface danced? I think that would have made the first film better. Let's do that instead.
Okay, does anybody
I-
think that
God.
the reason why that is because it's a product of a different decade?
Yeah.
You think that the 80s leaked into this
No.
film and somehow
I
changed
kind
it
of
some way?
do. I kind
Disagree.
of
Oh,
do.
I'm asking. I'm not saying that that's my statement.
No,
I'm saying
no.
that's my question.
No, I don't think that at all. I think that he wanted to take the character in a different direction. Is
Dude.
that's what I think, and
Well,
I think he took it in
different
the wrong
direction.
I think he
Jesus
took it in the
But
Christ.
it's
wrong
not just
direction.
Leatherface. It's the whole fucking movie.
The whole movie,
The whole movie is
the
a
whole
gag.
family, the whole family's just like this,
But see,
this running joke.
I didn't find
Okay,
it funny though.
can we get past the fact that? Can we just get past the fact that it's way more campy than the original? Can we first start there and then start looking at the film? Because I feel like it's being attacked strictly because it's more on a comedy level.
I'm actually not attacking it at all.
See, here's
I'm noting the difference between the 70s version and the 80s version and what could have caused that.
Sure.
And I'm
but-
just wondering if the 80s had something to do with that because I feel like the
What
80s
year
had
did
a
it come
more-
out?
1986.
86.
And then in the original
Right in the
77,
fucking heart
right?
of the 80s.
77 was the first?
Here's my
I
argument.
thought it was 74.
No, it has to be early, 13 years, right?
74, I think.
Okay, since 74.
Yeah. Comedy horror is what it's listed as.
And here's my argument on the comedy horror part. I don't find it funny.
No, I don't think it's funny. I think
the
it's
characters are crazy. They're not. It's not like a straight character. Like Bill Moseley's character is insane.
Tell
so
me
when he's hitting
fucking
him with
Drayton Sawyer is not have some hilarious shit to say throughout that whole movie.
Nope.
But he's
Yes,
crazy.
he does.
They're crazy and they're doing terrible things to people, so I don't find it funny.
Real cash.
Oh my gosh,
money.
I just can't even believe that you would look at it on that level. Like, I feel like maybe you guys are taking it too seriously.
He's beating a dude in the head with a hammer. And
Okay, it's terror and comedy.
I just didn't blend well for me. So
Yeah.
it made it just a horror movie for me is what
Okay.
I'm saying. And it was a bad horror movie.
Can I ask how many people here like Rob Zombie's movies?
I do.
You do.
I do
Yes.
not.
I like some of them.
You like some of them. Did you feel that this film had to directly influence those movies?
Oh, it did, definitely.
Like,
I think he admits that.
Yeah, no.
I always heard that it was the first one that he was really into, and
No,
then when
it's
I
this
now
one.
rewatching this one, I'm like, there's no way because the family is so, they're so more, they're bigger characters.
You know
There's
who
so much more than the first one is.
Sure.
You know, and I just.
And I appreciate that. I like that. I like that about the original. I like that it feels real. This one, nobody was trying to fool anybody here. Like this wasn't like they weren't trying to garner that kind of
know who else?
attention anymore. You know, they'd already done it with the original. Now they wanted to go. This was like kind of like their Hollywood approach to it. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's where the film lost it though. Like horror films in general, like they lose so much steam and so much terror when you know so much about the enemy. Like even like haunting films, I always think like you go see like a movie where it's like, oh, this is a scary movie, and then 3/4 of the way into it, you find out the backstory about the ghost that's haunting them, and it's like, oh, she was tortured and then hung. Like, no, it's not scary anymore. I agree with her. like the seeing the Saw family,
That's the
like
roller
I just
coaster,
fucking
man.
I just it took me out of the element. It's like I don't find these people scary whatsoever, and for it to be like Leatherface, like. I fucking hate it.
Okay, so I can honestly, can you guys say, with the first time when you watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you probably rented it, okay, part 2, and you probably rented it, and what cover did you see on that film? What was the cover on that film?
Dennis Hopper?
No, that was the version you saw?
You mean the second one or the first one?
The second one.
Dennis
second
Hopper.
one?
No, Dennis Hopper for me too.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
That was the first time. Oh, because the one in the Breakfast Club pose,
Yeah,
I believe, is the more popular one, and the one that was used in their marketing campaign. Which, if that doesn't scream cheesy camp, like I don't know how anybody could go into it thinking that it was going to be.
I just don't understand how well this is just a whole other discussion. I just don't see how Hollywood could take such a successful and terrifying film as Texas Chainsaw Massacre and be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's make it.
Well,
let's
hold
see
on,
his
I wanna
fucking
state something.
balls.
That wasn't Hollywood. That was Toby Hooper.
That's what I was gonna say.
Exactly.
So what? I guess the real question is, what made Toby Hooper, after 13 years, decide I want to take this film into a more comedic direction?
Right.
Which I didn't. That's where I struggled because I didn't find the comedy that funny. The funniest person I thought in the movie was Stretch and
LG.
LG. I thought they were the two funniest people, and I thought they had the most terrifying scene in the movie.
LG
Oh my
definitely
God, yeah.
does.
But can you
I don't
appreciate
know, I
that?
really
Like,
loved
can you
Lefty.
appreciate that there are scenes in this film that are like classic and they like make you cringe when you
Dude,
watch them.
Here's my thing, though. Here's my arguments. The beginning is awesome. I love the beginning of the movie. But then at the same time, I'm like, this sucks because apparently they're going 90 miles per hour in a sports car and that truck in reverse
In reverse,
And
is
that
keeping
bridge
up.
is really long.
is keeping up with
Can I
it.
just
That's the
state that the
longest
guy
bridge.
that tries to shoot Leatherface is a horrible
Dude,
marksmanship.
that puppet,
Like,
though,
No,
is
he
so
hits
cool.
the dead. He hits the dead body
but
in
who
the head.
shoots one bullet and then cringes with 5 more in the chamber?
No, he was shooting them off all the way up there. So like I think
Yeah, but if you watch it again, like
you think he only had
some
one
of the
bullet
scenes,
left
he
and
might
was
have only
out?
had like
well,
one
no,
bullet.
because he shot him in the head, and it knocks the dead face away from Leatherface. So you see his actual
Nubbins.
head, and then he shoots, and then it cuts to him, and he's like shooting behind the car. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go back. He's like shooting at them, but
I looked
he's
at
like
it as
aiming
like he
through the
shot
back.
him once and then just saw Leatherface and was just like, that's so much more scary. And he like just cringed and then saw his friend get his head hacked
I
off.
would not fucking do that. I'd be like, oh, cool. Hey,
But I
hit
did-
him once. I'm gonna hit him again.
No,
I did
I'm
like that opening
I'm
scene,
pulling until
though.
the clip runs out. Or at least the barrel.
I did like that
barrel
opening.
runs
So
out.
what's the rotating
cylinder.
thing? The cylinder. The cylinder.
I think where the disconnect is in this film, and maybe what we're kind of why we're on opposing sides, is I think it has a lot to do with the way the film was shot. It was shot to be scary. If you look at it, these long sweeping shots, cranes, like these, you know what I mean, dollies in, real, supposed to be really tense like shots, but the actions are comedic. So it's kind of like,
It's
how am I
like-
supposed to feel about it? I don't know.
It's like they should have chosen one or the other then.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to use the long, scary shots, then they should have just, toned down a little bit of the ridiculousness, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it was the content wasn't appropriate for the way that it was shot. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly.
So I think that could be where part of the disconnect is. I think that also drags the pacing of the film down
Yeah.
because they're trying to create something there, some kind of mood, but it's just not like translating. So they have these long shots, and like it takes forever to get to a certain point, and then you've got the classic scenes that we all know in between that.
Yeah, when Stretch drives to the Carnival of Doom, what is this place called? Battle World?
Battlelands.
Battlelands.
Yeah.
That takes a long time. Like I was like,
Well,
dude, there's so much of just looking at
like
taillights.
I like how they didn't see Dennis Hopper's headlights immediately behind them.
Oh yeah, and then she ran, and why did he have to come at her the most menacing way possible?
No shit.
He just
They're
rolled
on the
window down
same
like,
side.
Hey, it's me, Lefty.
I know.
Hey, sorry.
He was chasing
didn't
her
do that
down.
at all. He just chased her down, and then drives in beneath those weird arch,
Yeah.
and then like chased her down like he's gonna hit
Every
her.
time I see those, I think like, are these supposed to be like rib cages
Yeah.
at some fucking like dinosaur
Okay.
amusement park?
You know what, guys? Let's take a break. But when we get back, what I want to talk about is the body count in this movie. We'll be right back.
Waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. Boys, boys, boys.
Hey guys, we're back and we're going to talk about the body count of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The reason I wanted to talk about this was because it is at a minimal.
It's so low.
It is so low. For a horror movie, there's not a lot of deaths.
Not just a horror movie, for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, they were like, hey, you know what? And it's weird because you read reviews on it and you read this stuff and it talks about how gory it is. And it's like, well, it's really not that gory because no one really dies.
How many is the body count? Do you know?
I think
don't- like-
confirmed the way I counted it was 3.
3?
The 2 guys in the car.
Two guys in the-
We can definitely say died,
Yep.
and then we can also say that Dwight Yoakam died.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he was skinned alive and he just fucking fell over. But other than that, the whole grenade going off with Dennis Hopper, and you don't see any bodies. You don't know if they died. And then fucking Chop Top.
He just falls in that
He just falls
tunnel.
into the tube, which
Yeah.
is almost a guarantee that they were going for at
Here's-
least one more sequel.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he was like, I feel like that was a guarantee.
Yeah.
Here's my question. How powerful was that grenade? Because they climbed like 20 ladders and were like climbing up a
Right?
tube. The grenade goes off and you see the dust from it. You're like, damn.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how powerful a grenade is.
Not that powerful.
Not that powerful.
Not that powerful.
So if you were, it was directly below Dennis Hopper.
Oh, he probably
right?
He died.
he could have died. The type of I don't want to like make myself sound like I'm a know-it-all when it comes to weapons, but the type of grenade he has,
Pine cone.
the pineapple is what they call them.
Okay.
And they're called that because the little ridges
Right.
actually explode and send shrapnel out. So it's actually a small explosion that
But with-
sends shrapnel that shreds people up. So
Okay.
there's no way in fucking hell that would have produced that big of a dust cloud in that scene.
But I mean, who gets
ever.
caught? Let's not get caught up on that. But let's also talk about who.
You brought it up. What do you mean? Let's
I
not
know,
get
I
caught on
know.
that. You fucking.
I know. But you know who died early on in the movie? Dennis Hopper with his whole performance.
You mean?
Oh
scene
my
one?
God! I think he was one of the best
Hold on.
parts.
What? Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
He phoned it in.
Yeah, but that's what made it so
Let me just say-
memorable to me is like how phoned in it sounds. Like, well, you do that, son. I'd like to see that authority.
The
So good.
second you first see him on screen and he has that fucking hat that just doesn't fit him.
He looks
I'm just
miserable
like, I don't
throughout-
like this. I don't like
He
this
looks
movie.
miserable throughout the whole movie.
I think he said this was his
Well,
worst
yeah.
movie that he ever did.
It's his worst movie that he ever did. It's the worst role he's ever played. But there is a moment where he descends into what I see as being madness. Okay?
Yeah.
He starts off as he's looking like this badass Texas Ranger or ex-Texas Ranger. He's got all the fucking, clues. He's looking at everybody. He's mocking other people. What was that one line where he's talking about
What?
the two guys get in the car and he says, "Oh yeah, he must have chopped his own head off or something like that."
Yeah,
You think.
it's one of those boys saw his own head off going 90 mile per hour.
Like, which is obviously a sarcastic comment.
Yeah, totally.
But then he goes into the tool shop and he starts buying chainsaws like a motherfucker.
Such a cool scene.
Right, but like, where's his gun? You didn't think about a gun? Like, this guy's a Texas Ranger. He didn't have no gun.
Fighting fire with fire.
Exactly. But he goes berserk. And
Yeah.
then the rest of the film, he's quoting goddamn sermons and just chopping up wood. That's all he's doing.
I didn't.
Bring
you know
it
what?
all down.
For such a stellar detective as you're describing him as, I love how he just instantly shuts down the only person who has any shred of evidence. He's like, I don't need you around me. I don't need to listen to this. You need to leave, girl. It's like, she's the only one who responded to your shitty ad, basically.
I know. Yeah.
And he's like, get out of
That,
my
by the way, was
room.
the most boring scene in the whole movie.
Where he's sitting on the stairs.
That
and-
whole
yeah.
apartment scene, just like I
Hotel.
feel like I blink and just like go into a trance and then
Yeah.
come back out of it.
I just thought it was so ridiculous. Like, he's like been on a 14 year fucking vengeance journey, and someone finally has credible evidence, and he tells him to fuck off.
Yeah. It's like, why
Yeah.
did you put the ad in the paper
Yeah,
if you
why-
didn't want
why-
to answer it?
Yeah.
Bitch?
And here's the weird
drunk.
thing about the film is that I thought they were going to go deeper with this. That they were going to make it where, like, he was becoming the thing he hated. Like, in a weird way. Like, he was somehow also a madman. And they never... I mean, I guess you could...
He was.
You
Did you
can
see
take
the end of that
from the
fucking
film.
movie? He's
You
like
can take
fighting
that
with
from
chainsaws.
No.
He's fighting with
that's-
chainsaws.
That's the problem. They have a sword fight at the end of the movie
Yeah.
with chainsaws.
No.
That was
Jesus.
pretty hokey. It
Well,
was
who doesn't
real
like a
hokey.
sword
Totally.
fight?
Of course it was hokey.
Yeah.
And then
Nobody would ever say it wasn't.
And then the kill of Leatherface. We're guessing kill when he sticks the chainsaw in his gut, and the
Oh,
gut
man.
looks terrible.
And it's just like it's
know-
still running but it doesn't.
That was
stop.
a cool part.
Let's talk about that. Special effects done by the former wizard of special effects, Tom Savini. After watching this, I was like, you know what? He's not that good.
No,
He's not that good.
But I read that he loves this film for what he did on that.
I think he did some good stuff on this.
He was
movie.
proud. Yeah, he
I
was
don't know.
definitely proud of a
I don't
couple
know.
of effects.
I don't know.
Grandpa.
Like even the intro with the head sawed off, like you can
That was
see
cheesy.
the tubes sticking out top, squirting blood. It's like,
If
come
I
on,
had to
dude.
vote for cheesiest affected, that would be the one for sure. It just slides off and it's kind of stop motiony looking, and it almost looks like like it's clay or something.
I think that's the reason why I originally loved this film, because in my youth I had like desires or wishes that I could be a special effects artist, so I totally dove into anything that Tom Savini did, because I thought he was the master of splatter, and it was just watching it now. It's like, man, not that good.
Really, I enjoyed the effects. Like the one that got me to
You just bitched about the saw in the stomach effects,
Well,
and
that
then you're
one-
gonna be like, I love the effects in this film.
but that was like the one that I didn't like. But the one that got me was when he put the face on Stretch,
Oh,
and I was
man.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that's gross. That got me.
Yeah.
That one got, because she's like, it's wet.
Yeah,
and I was like,
the
oh, no, it is wet.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to have my Cold War moment right now.
Okay.
I have a question about the saw.
Yes.
Is the saw a weird extension of this dude's penis?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is,
Obviously,
right? It
yeah.
has to be.
Obviously.
In this,
right?
I think
He was
in this
like
film,
dry humping with it.
Yeah.
Yes, especially
How
when he
more
has
clear could
Stretch
he make
in
it?
the radio station.
Yeah.
He's got it like right between our legs, and it's really fucking...
Yeah, he basically had an orgasm too.
He does,
Yeah.
right?
he masturbates.
So let me ask a question. So then when Dennis Hopper takes the fucking same exact chainsaw to that one old dude's ass, Did he butt rape him? Is that what he's saying? He fucked him in the ass?
Totally. And
he
I
killed
even
him by
love
fucking him in the ass.
And I love the line afterward where he's like, "Oh, got me good," and he's got like bloody hands, and he's like, "Took care of my hems though. Oh, that's pretty bad."
Yeah, don't have to go to the hospital now. Yeah. What about the? I mean, I don't want to skip to it, but I feel like it's necessary to talk about. What about the end? What do you think the end symbolized with her holding the chainsaw and doing the dance of Leatherface?
It's the same thing that I thought about Dennis Hopper's character. Is it like this weird glorification of violence, and then are they becoming the same things that they're fighting against?
Yeah, I think she lost. She basically lost her
because
mind?
Is
Her
that
mind,
the same?
yeah.
Is that the same dance from the first? When
No, the
she
first
drives
one,
away, she drives away, and she looks back.
He's swinging it around
Okay.
his head
Yeah.
like this.
I was
with
trying to
one
figure out
arm.
because that dance was so much more like.
This is
gonna
a much
coordinated?
sexier.
This was
it
a choreographed
Yes.
movements in this movie for sure. His movements, like he was, like I said, he was tiptoeing around and like jumping around corners and diving and tumbling, and it was very
Yeah, this is a much sexier Leatherface than we've seen in the past.
very tight clothing.
Yes.
And is it the
Very
first time
Euro.
we see the grandmother? This is the first time we see the grandmother, right? Or the insinuation that a grandmother existed?
Grandmother, you mean grandpa?
No, the
No,
grandmother.
no.
She
The
gets a
one that was
chainsaw from
holding
at
the
end.
chainsaw, the one that she got.
Oh, right at the
She's
end.
like,
Okay,
oh, no,
yes,
grandma.
yes.
And it was like,
Yeah, that was the first time you
and
see
it was
the
like
grandma.
the shrine, like they were worshiping
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
That one got me too. That scene at the end got me too because as she's trying to start the chainsaw, all he's doing is just slashing
Cutting her. Yeah.
at her back
It's
with that
the-
knife.
Yeah, that must be the dullest fucking knife.
Oh God! But the thought of that is so.
Yeah,
you
that-
can feel that when you
Yes.
think about it
Yeah.
too hard.
Yep, I
That-
agree.
That
But
was
I
a,
like
that was
the
a
end.
cringe-worthy scene. I'll admit.
I like when movies end like that, where it's just like the terror is over, but is it? Like, because this woman is freaking out on the top of this mountain thing.
You know what else movie just ended? Like just poof, ended was American Werewolf in London.
Yep, same
Just-
thing.
yeah.
And we all
sure.
complained
What year was that
about
made? Was that
ending.
made 86?
We all complained about that ending.
But
and now
something
you're-
about a kind of a hot babe wielding a chainsaw is like way cooler to me than some
Yeah.
naked
Well,
man laying
I think
on.
we figured it out for Jonathan Landis. We could have just said if she had killed him with a chainsaw and then did a dance afterwards,
There it is.
Yeah.
we would have we fixed the film.
like a song
there it
and
is.
dance.
All
There
right,
it is.
so let's talk about the real star of the movie because we haven't got to him yet, and I think that's Bill Moseley. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
his character though, to me, his character was not funny because he
And who-
played a crazy so well.
Remind me who did he play?
Chop
Our
Top.
audience.
Chop Top.
He played
Chop
Chop Top.
Top, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And for those who don't know who Bill Moseley is, he is also in Rob Zombie films House of a Thousand Corpses as
and
Otis.
plays the same character.
Yeah,
it's basically the same character.
he kind of plays the same character, but like it's useful for that type of role.
And
obviously.
did he play? Did he play the hitchhiker in the first one?
No.
No,
He did not.
Mm-mm.
Even though they were supposed to be twins, so they're not.
Yeah, that
Identical
was the question I
twins.
want to know. Is he supposed to be playing that character?
No, he's playing
No.
the twin of the brother, and I guess in the first
How'd you
one,
figure that out?
Because I looked it up.
That's cool.
We have
Good.
an entire internet that tells us these
An
things.
entire internet.
But
the entire
Apparently,
internet.
there is a comment in the first one where they say, "Oh, your brother's off in Vietnam right now," and his entire character in this film is based on a guy who was a Vietnam vet.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
makes
and
sense.
and he talks about Nam in the movie,
He does.
but he plays the craziest character, and it's believable, man.
He bounces around. He's silly. He's out of his mind. He's like bloodthirsty, but he's like a little child. He's like a little like 7-year-old kid on crack.
I thought he was. I thought he as a character was creepy the first time you meet him in the radio station.
Oh, with a wig.
Yeah, and then from
Scratchy.
the rest of the film on, I just thought he was annoying.
There is a weird thing about this
Just
family
like-
where it at least shows that they're only doing this for fun. It's almost like they don't even have.
No, they're doing it for chili.
Yeah,
You think?
The whole reason,
yes.
dude, the whole reason they're doing this is so they can have meat for chili.
But
for
then
their
there has to be a
catering
fun
company.
aspect to the fact that they're killing them because they're always
that's my
doing
next
it. They're playing
question.
these games with the grandfather where he hits him in the head with the fucking hammer.
He's the best.
That's my next question. Does that ruin the legacy of Leatherface when you find out that the whole reason they're doing this is for chili?
I don't know. I don't think they got it right after that. Even like 3 was not a very good film. Like the Leatherface movie was, and then the Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey, not a very good film. Like
Right.
nobody knew what the fuck to do with this movie.
Well, I
Which
think
seems so strange because you're like just if you were just handed like amazing source material. Like, here, roll with this, and like it's just been a failure one after another.
What do you think about the remake of
The first remake?
Yeah, with
was,
Jessica Biel
was great.
I think it fell off at the end, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was terrifying. Anything else after that has been just god awful.
God awful. You heard it from Kyle Smith.
I will
think I
say
even
this
went past
about
that.
the chili thing. I mean, if you're gonna go with comedy and you're gonna be talking about cannibalism and you're gonna be taking place in Texas, what's the better thing? What's better than chili?
Chili cook-off.
I mean, yeah, like it. That's hysterical if you think about it, because chili's they have Texas chili cook-offs. Sorry, Tex, if I'm offending you. If you don't have chili cook-offs,
They do.
Telechili?
They do.
Telechili.
Telechili.
It's like a phone mixed with chili.
You just send me some chili
Through the phone.
through the phone.
I loved Bill Moseley's performance, though. Just to get back to that, I think that it's really what put him on the map. And now he does tons of films. Like he does 4 a year, 5 a year. You know, like he's working, but like, and I've seen him play other roles that is not that Otis character that we all know from Rob Zombie's movies, or this Chop Top is basically the same thing. And like he has a range, you know, of things he can do.
Oh yeah, no,
I mean,
I've
you
seen
definitely play
other things.
Maniacal. Maniacal is his.
That's what he got started on. That's what
Forte.
people knew him as,
Yeah.
him as, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah.
That got,
Chris just ended it.
that got quiet fast.
Oh, Leatherface, you bitch! Look what you did to my Sonny Bono wig do. Oh, God damn, I can't believe it. You have to buy me a new plate cover. You have to buy me a new plate cover, Leatherface. Oh. Oh. Dog wheel hunt. Get that bitch, Leatherface. Get that bitch. Dog wheel hunt.
All right, guys. So let's talk about the director a little bit, Tobe Hooper. I think this is. I think what this movie proves, and if you look at the rest of his movies after this,
I don't even know what his other movies are actually.
what he proved is he got real lucky with the first one.
I will totally agree with you.
I really think that. I really think he got lucky with the first one. The second one is more his own style. I almost feel like if you put this as a separate Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe,
Yeah.
like almost like a different universe, I could look at the film differently. But since it's in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe, it's hard to take in.
You can't
Hold on.
separate yourself.
Let me defend him a little bit.
Okay.
Imagine doing a film. Do you think you would make the same type of film 13 years later?
I would try to recapture the original terror and fear that the first one created.
But don't you think there are some artists out there that are just like, well, I'm going to go something completely different? Because from what I have heard from this is that there was a mock-up of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they were mocking the mock-up of them.
It was like satirical.
Something,
Yeah.
there was some weird reason why they went comedy.
Well,
because
because they originally wanted to do a movie called I think it was like In the Valley of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it was about a town of cannibals. It wasn't just
Okay.
It turned out to be a
Okay.
town, and then
See, so from the get-go is already going that direction.
the studio
Like,
got a hold of it, and they got a new writer, and this is what you got.
So obviously this guy had some moment in his life where he decided to go in a completely different artistic direction, and he
Yeah.
wanted to change it up. I mean, I can't
that
hate him for
good?
that. I don't know. I can't hate him for that. It's his baby. He's doing it.
Where do
Like,
you guys rate this as like a technical film? Because it's low for me, man.
I think the cinematography had some really good points.
It had some gems, but then a lot of times I felt like it was flat.
For me, it was so weird because I was so bogged down by how much 80s was in it. There's
don't
so
know.
much 80s influence, like the guy in the car with the fucking glasses.
1986.
I mean, there was always that guy like Styles from freaking Teen Wolf that.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
he
I
wears
know.
his glasses indoors. That's so quirky.
But it
and
kind of
weird."
works because
it's like
they're
a gimmick.
they're like Texan, you know. That's kind of that still exists today. That's like
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
kind of
Is
a
that
universal look.
supposed to be like the Dallas Texans, like the rich
probably.
oil Texans that have never?
what?
They were up in some small
Yeah,
town.
you've seen Dallas. You've
I
seen
think
Dallas, right?
They
The
were,
TV show.
The two guys were from Oklahoma.
Were they really?
Yeah, they're from
Okay.
the opposite team.
No,
that's
they have
coming
a.
in.
They have a. There's a.
That's why they're shooting the sign.
Yeah.
The Alamo shooting the sign Texas. They're
Yeah.
not from Texas.
Isn't there a driver's license plate doesn't say something like True Texans or something like that? Something weird. There's something weird on that.
Maybe they just fucked
So
up.
fish-
I don't
Am I the
know.
only person
I didn't even notice the
Yeah.
the license plate in the scene. Did you like watch this like pause and
And
go
slow
like?
No. It's,
Frame
it's
by
something
frame.
that I vague. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure
No,
Twitter,
they're from
Twitter
Oklahoma.
will correct me.
I'm
but-
pretty sure that they're from Oklahoma. I'm like
Okay.
95% sure, and that's that's how people from Oklahoma are, guys.
Apparently, if you got to deal with tornadoes, you probably turn into an
Yeah,
asshole.
you just turn into coked up assholes. That's not true.
true.
People from Oklahoma.
That's
That's
true.
not true. We love you,
Just be like,
Oklahoma.
fuck it, we can
Go
die any
Thunder.
day.
And we've lost all our Oklahoma
equal
listeners.
No, they love it.
assholes.
They love it.
Anyways, you know what? How are we gonna rate this film today?
What the fuck was that?
Fucking buzzsaws, man.
Buzzsaws. We're gonna rate it with buzzsaws.
No way. I'm not
Bowls
gonna
of
do.
chili. Bowls
I
of
don't know.
chili?
Bowls of chili is
Bowls
pretty
of
good.
chili.
Award-winning bowls of chili.
Fuck you, Charlie's.
Fuck you, Charlie's.
Oh yeah, that's what
Okay.
he calls it. Where's that old fuck you, Charlie?
We're gonna rate this. Fuck you, Charlie's.
Okay, I would like to go first if I could.
Oh, please do.
I would like to say that, you know what? I did not like nor hate this movie. I thought the best thing about this movie was its soundtrack, actually. We didn't talk much about it, but the soundtrack's actually pretty rocking and it fits the film pretty well. The effects are okay. They're not the greatest. Some of them are, gory and gross, and then some of them are kind of boring. There's not a lot of deaths for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, which is kind of weird. What are we, buzzsaws? What is it?
No.
Fuck you, Charlie's.
Fuck you, Charlie's.
Charlie's.
I'd have to give it. I'd give it 2.5. Fuck you, Chars.
Chars.
Yeah, it's a half Charlie.
Yeah. Damn.
Huh.
That's kind of a burn.
All right. Who's
That's
up
my.
next?
I mean, whoever wants to go next.
Mike, go for it.
Here I am. Okay, all right. I'm gonna give it 3 fuck you Charlies, and this is for a very similar reason to what you said. I don't know that I completely dislike this film. I see a lot of it that I liked. I see so much of Rob Zombie's films in this, and I see where he got a lot of this from. And although I don't like those films, I've always respected Rob Zombie and what he's done. So there's a part of me that kind of feels like, for the sake of cult film and what people love, and what they are looking for, I kind of feel the same way. Like that it was strong on so many different levels, but also weak on other things. I can't give it any more than a mediocre rating based on that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Kyle,
Chris.
you have it.
Chris.
I'll go. I'll take it. I hadn't watched this movie in a while. It had been a long time. I usually put it on Halloween, but I don't ever sit down and watch it just on in the background. So, visually, I like this movie. I'm okay with what it's doing. I'm okay with the campiness. I like the comedy aspect of it. I think the sets were really well done, and I liked that they were willing to take a risk and try something different. But going back and watching it, I thought it drug. I thought it was a really slow-paced movie, more than I originally thought. And there were just scenes where I was like, God, will this woman just stop screaming? I can't listen to her anymore. Things that annoyed me about it. And so I wanted to be able to give it at least a 4, but I'm going to have to give it a 3.5. Fuck you, Charlie's.
Can I ask a question real quick?
3.5.
Sure.
When you picked this film, is it because you were a lover of this film
Yeah.
originally?
Yep.
And now that you've seen it again, you changed your mind? To some
Oh
extent?
no, I still consider myself a lover of the film. I would watch it again.
Do you think this film holds up?
It doesn't hold up as well as I had thought for a really long time. I think I was going into it more analytical now,
Okay.
to some degree, and it definitely changed my the overall feeling I had. I wasn't pumped to watch it again. I was like, it was kind of I was yawning. I was kind of falling asleep.
All right.
Kyle, how do you feel about the film?
This movie, for some reason in my head, I like Chris. I watched it a few times when I was younger, and I I was excited when he said we're gonna watch this because it was like, oh cool, I fucking love this movie. This is a great film. Watching it now with, I guess, fresh eyes or maybe more analytical eyes than before, but I fucking hate this movie. Like, it's boring. I think I'm going to say what Chris said a positive was where the director took it a different direction. I think that's what cursed the whole saga of Texas Chainsaw at all. I think if they would have went closer to the original, then maybe we would have had better sequels as well coming out. But he started the campiness, and it just kept fucking rolling like a steam train. And every single movie that's come out has been campy and goofy. And it's such a departure from the original terrifying film that the first one was. I'm going to give it 1.5 fuck you Charlies. And that's a fair... I think I'm giving it more than I should. I don't like this movie. I don't think I'm going to watch it again. I'm not going to recommend it. And the special effects that I thought were so amazing, I've seen better.
And you own this film, correct?
It's the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that I own, which is so fucking crazy. Which is why I'm so confused, because I thought it was so great, but
guess that's gonna end up at the garage sale,
dude. It's already a copy I bought off from Hollywood Video when they went out of business. So.
Oh, hey, good sale.
Couldn't give them away.
I remember that sale. That was a good sale.
Yeah,
used to work there.
5 for $20.
Yeah, good sale. All right, guys, make sure you join us next week. When what film are we doing next week, guys?
Next week, it's my film.
Okay.
And we are doing Return of Oz.
We're doing Return
to Oz.
Oh,
Return
God.
to Oz next
We're already
week.
fucked.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Make sure you join us for Return to Oz next week. Michael Jackson's in that, right?
Nope, he's not.
That's
nope,
the Wiz.
not even
You
close.
That's the
Wiz.
Wiz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Return to the Oz is
That
the
is
other
not
one.
even close to the same.
Return of Oz or
Return to Oz.
Return to Oz.
All right, so cut that out. All right,
Yeah.
guys, join us next week when we'll be talking about Return to Oz.
Oh, you actually want me to cut that out?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Hey, guys, just join us next week.